Ladies and gentlemen, that man is prophetic. You got to watch the blueprint. Sometimes people say, Sway, how do you make it in the business? I tell them the blueprint is right in front of you. You got to dig deep, though. I wanted to be an anthropologist at one time in my life. You got to dig deep. You got to go beneath the surface to understand. You got to go beneath the surface. And in order to do that, you got to talk to people who have been there and continue to stay here and continue to be vibrant and continue to be engaging and be fresh. People will continue to be on the post and to be active and to be proactive and continue to evolve. It becomes more than just a verse you wrote 20 or 35 years ago. It becomes more than that. It becomes what that verse you wrote did to other people. How did it impact them? How did it motivate them? How did it inspire them? Then we get older and learn that it's not just about the music. I want to bring you in my house. I want to show you how to cut a pineapple with a machete because that's part of my heritage. I'm going to show you how I mix on my blender because you're wondering how can I be this stage in my life and I look younger than your kids. I'm going to show you that on my Instagram. I'm going to talk to you about my everyday philosophy so you could be like me. And when you get to be my age, you too will be able to take off your shirt and be top naked on Instagram like the legendary icon we have on the line with us right now. Give it up for Doug E. Fresh.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Look. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or say thank or drop to the knees and just be like, thank the Creator all over again. So I'm gonna do all three. You know, man, it's so beautiful to hear you, brother, and it's so nice to be with y'all again.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, Doug.
It's been a minute. How y'all been, man, and how are your families? Let's start that.
Okay, let's go with Tracy G first. Go for it, Tracy.
Hey, Dougie. So happy to hear your voice,
up,
first
Tracy?
off.
You too.
Thank you for
Word
asking,
up.
too. My family is doing well. We had some scares around COVID that were very close to home, but we've been blessed with more life. Everyone is okay. Parents are moving over to Florida, so that's a transition. Sister is in Cleveland. She's servicing her community. She's a doctor out there, so I really have nothing to complain about. I have only things to praise about, so thank you.
Okay,
That's beautiful.
Ain't that something, Doug? That means her sister, if you ever get sick, we could get you a discount. Sister doctor.
Hey,
I got you.
Hey, look, we down here where the sun keeps shining. You know, so it's a beautiful thing to be down in Florida right now.
Absolutely.
You know?
All right.
What about you, brother?
Oh, I'm good. The family's well. You know, I got the 107-year-old grandmother, the 96-year-old grandmother already. I thank God daily. Wow. I'm going to just focus on that, Doug.
Wow.
You know, in terms of everything else, I figure those parts out. You know what I mean? I can figure the rest out.
Ain't that something?
Hey, bro. Hey, look, you said 107.
Yeah.
Wow.
107. Miss Brown, 107. Don't play, Doug. She reads with no glasses, memorized scripture, takes care of herself. Oh, man, my jeans are ridiculous, Dougie Fresh. My jeans. Come on.
Look, I see, brother. I see. Hey, look, we're gonna be having this conversation at 107.
There
God
you go.
willing.
God willing. Come on, let's go. It's possible. HB, let them know how you doing.
Yo, Dougie, what's up? It's Heather. How you doing, family?
What's up, Heather?
Hey,
I like when we get together.
Hey, whenever. So it's crazy. Like you asked this, and thank you for asking about us. Rarely do we get asked this question, so thank you for asking. And for me, just to be 100, it's been up and down. Ironically, I lost a lot of people in my family, a lot of young people in my family during this time. We kind of been set down, but much like Sway, my grandparents have survived and sustained. My grandmother is 91. My grandfather is 101. My husband dropped some food off by them the other day. Opened the door. My grandfather was standing in the kitchen making grits. So I was like, you know what? Somehow, some way, we've lost 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds in my family, but the 101-year-old and the 91-year-old is still surviving. So I think what an ironic way that God somehow shows us balance and our faith and our work, just these different things. So I've been learning the balance game, Doug, and just trying to, move forward and be there for those that in need and those who have, made the transition, supporting the family and still standing on my own ground. So thank you for asking.
No, man, that's beautiful. And I'm sorry to hear about your family,
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a real tough time for all of us, It's been one of them times where, you're just trying to figure out, what's going on.
Facts.
I mean, it's really, really a tough time. Like I'm saying, very, very, very crazy. One of those, are you serious right now kind of times?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but at the same time, there's a lot of good. So when you're talking about your grandma, the grandparents and stuff, you can't, there's no words to say, that's back to that history again. For you to have somebody around like that you can just have conversations. I talk to some of the elders around me, and some of the conversations we have are just unbelievable. Some of the things they share with me, it's just like I'm watching a movie. I never watch TV because I'm talking to them, I'm like, I'm getting it real, like it's damn near like it's 3D, so these are some interesting times. I don't think I ever thought that we would be in a time like this. This is just a very, very like eye-opening, life-changing, things will never be the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man,
it's like from us being in Harlem, Sway, going to the restaurant or going to the fish spot, you know what I mean, or whatever, or rolling, right, to now, you got to have a mask on, or or people who, the younger people, the older people, everybody just, everybody's afraid. It's like a fearful thing, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel. When I hear stuff like 107,
yeah.
I mean, look, you can't make that one up. You know what I mean?
Can't make it up, Dougie. Things have changed, man. Things have changed, but we are here, right?
Right.
And that's what's amazing. And when you talk about some of these. Dougie's like, man, this is my brother, man. I can't even, we got to sit down in person one time and do this conversation. We can't, it's hard to do it right here on this phone call. We're going to do it because we'll talk about what you called in to talk about, but, I want to say I'm proud of you, man. I don't know if anyone ever says this to you.
Man.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it, man.
No, absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you. I've watched you. I remember us having conversations about social media.
Yeah.
In the van, right?
I remember.
And you're like, yo, tell me this. How does that work? How does this work? Yeah, Doug, man, all you got, and I brought this up before. All you got to do, Doug, is just be personal. Be Dougie Fresh. Show them who you really are. That's what's going to engage people. Dougie took it to another level, Heather. I didn't want to see. Doug showed us. Doug, you're naked, man. You're naked on IG, Doug. Tell me. Did you?
Hey, look. There's a lot of reasons to this now. One of the like there's some vanity, but there's some sanity in it as well.
Okay. Talk about
the sanity part, right? The sanity part is that, and this is 100%. Black people as a whole have kind of like on the vitamin D level. I don't know if anybody get checked out, but the numbers are staggering. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're so low, and one of the things that's attached to the breakdown of the immune system is your vitamin D. So we never really thought about it. And, and black people, they got melanin, so they walk and they feel like everything is cool. But nah, B, you got to take the shirt off. You got to let the sun rays
What I've been
hit
saying,
you.
Sway.
You gotta, I don't know
Tell
if people
Dougie.
believe me, but I'm telling the truth.
That's
You
right.
could take the supplements, and the supplements could help you, but the pure vitamin D comes from the sun, the same way you see the trees green and you see, the different animals, the different things flying around and the little bugs on the ground. The vitamin D energizes them. We got away from it. We stay most of the time inside. And in New York, we really stay inside. We just go from building to building, train to car to bus, and Uber to this and to that. And what happened is that we kind of detach from nature. So when a situation like COVID hit, besides having underlying issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, obesity, all these different things, and your immune system is so low, man, you're in a situation where it's going to be difficult for you to make it when you get hit with this unknown virus, which I consider it to be a part of they call it a pandemic, but we consider it a plandemic, and it's kind of like, you put yourself in these vulnerable states. So what I do from the natural side is I go out every day and I take it off, take the shirt off, and look, and honestly, it doesn't matter, even if you're in your backyard, even if you're on the roof, no matter where you are, if you can get you at least 10, 15 minutes of the sun shining on you, not just your head. See, because that's where people getting it mixed up too. They thinking if the sun shines on your face or your arms, you're getting it. But what happened to the other part of the body? Like the sun, the rays gotta hit it. And those that don't believe me, look it up so that you see that I'm telling you the truth.
Wow, Doug. That was the best explanation.
That was a Sway chat.
I thought I was talking.
And I like taking my shirt off too.
Yeah.
Okay,
There we go.
Doug.
Right.
Just
Doug,
a little
like my
teaspoon of
natural
vanity.
skin.
Okay.
Right.
Doug,
Right. I don't want to leave that out.
You keep your shorts on, though, right, Doug? Come on. You keep the shorts on.
Yeah. I think I got to do that. That's important. That's important.
That's important.
Only when I'm in the house, you may want to. Well, I keep them on in there too. But anyway, though.
Yeah. We got Dougie Fresh.
Can't burn the meat,
baby.
The world's greatest. Like Doug, you've been very masterful in how you've curated your career and just stayed on the post and just your name is in contemporary conversation. Dougie Fresh is a factor. People, you probably, if it wasn't for COVID, would probably work 250 days out of the year. You've really taken this thing at the time, and when the first album came out in '86, we didn't know what this culture was going to become. We didn't have a blueprint to follow. There wasn't a Dougie Fresh before there was a Dougie Fresh.
Right.
What have you found has been the key for you throughout the decades to stay on the post? Does it have anything to do with entertainment and music, or is it something outside of that? What are some of the things you would credit to for your longevity?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot, for the acknowledgement. But, one of the things that I think, which is something you do as well, there's a saying that I live by, and I tell my sons this, and I've been telling my friends this all the time. I always say that the main thing is to make sure that the main thing remains the main thing. Now, for some people, it may be kind of, like you hearing it, we rhyme and, MC thing and all of that, but it's a lot deeper than just that. When I'm saying the main thing is to make sure that the main thing remains the main thing. I've seen multiple generations, from 81 to Harlem World all the way up to 2021 right now as we speak with a new project. One of the things that I see that has been the winning formula for me on the level that I appreciate is the consistency of not allowing things to throw me off and make me forget why I'm doing this, how much I love doing it. This is not just about me making a living from doing it. I was doing it when there was no living, living to be made from it. So there was a passion, and then I learned from that passion makes money. Money never made passion. You see? So I stay on the road, and there's a lot of things that'll come at you. You know, the drugs can come at you. The alcohol can come at you. The extreme relationships with different women and people in your life, that can come at you. There could be bills and bad lawyers and bad managers, which I call damages. You know, there can be bad labels. We can make many excuses on why we're going to stop. But just like this thing that we're going through now as a people, as a world, we can't stop living. You got to keep pushing forward. You have to make certain adjustments, but you keep moving forward. So that's why I always say that the main thing is to make sure that the main thing remains the main thing. And that's what I've been doing, you know, from 81. And then the last part is I've had examples around me of the greats and some of the mistakes that they made that made me say, okay, I'm going to write that down in my book to make sure I don't do that. I'm going to make sure I don't do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. Like to this day, I still practice. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Most rappers, most guys who rhyme don't practice no more. They don't practice some of the things that they do. Now, I have a whole arsenal of multiple things I have to practice, but I still practice every day, you know, and specific pieces and techniques and things, and I'm always trying to tighten it up and better it so that I'm excited about it. You know, sometimes when you think you've reached the mountaintop, there's no place else to go. There's always something new to learn about this game. I'm sure when even though y'all show is great, everybody give you a lot of acknowledgement. You've been doing this a long time, Sway. I know sometimes there's some twists and turns that come in here that make you go, wow. You know what I mean? Even though you've been doing it a long time, you know?
I love those moments.
Yeah.
I love
it makes you know you don't know. You get excited again. Like, oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely. I love Doug, can you give us a sample of how you practice real quick?
Yes, please.
Live on the air?
Well, let me tell you, like, so sometimes the way that I practice is, you know, like, say I may exercise, right? And say if I'm exercising and I'm running, you know, I may run. And when I'm running, I run probably around 5-6 miles. Or if I'm walking, I may walk, and I'll say maybe 6 to 10 miles, something like that, right? And when I'm walking, I may do stuff like, so if I'm running, I'll go, and I'll hold that beat for probably like maybe 60 minutes.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? And when I hold it for like 60 minutes, my record is maybe 70, but I hold it for like 60 minutes of that same continuous beat going on and breathing, right? So if I get on stage or if I'm performing, my win is at a level that's beyond most people's level, right? So that's one thing that I would practice on that. Then I'll take the harmonica, which I don't have it right here, but I take the harmonica and I practice, you know, playing the harmonica with the beatbox. And when I'm practicing it, I'm practicing the notes and making sure that I remember how to move, because I play the harmonica backwards, you know. One time I was going to get lessons, and I had this professional harmonica player come in here to try to show me how to play. And when he said, let me see what you do, I started doing what I do, and he stopped. He said, I can't teach you. I said, why? He said, because I never seen nobody do what you do, and you playing it backwards. He said, and it's really, he said, only thing I could tell you is you're going to have to develop that on your own because I've never seen nobody do the beatbox, play the harmonica, and it's backwards. So I practiced that because it's something that is different, you know. Then I practiced, you know, like rhythms, like rhyming, because you know how a singer may have a perfect pitch. I have perfect rhythm, meaning like you can't throw me off beat. You see what I'm saying? And it's because I guess, you know, because of the beatbox and all this stuff. So anywhere like, and Heather noticed, like if you rhyming on the beat and say the DJ mess up, and you know it's too straight, like, and the DJ might, and the record may skip. Remember back in the days?
Oh, yeah.
Right. I used to practice messing up. So we practiced, me, Barry, and Will, I used to make them make the record skip to the point that we would practice this thing for like hours. And so anytime the record would skip, there's no possible way that it can throw me off. I used to watch guys do their shows, and when the record skipped, they would be like, yo, man, yo, bring that down. Yo, DJ, man, what's up, man? What's up? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember them days?
Yo. I watched Big, rest in power, throw a bottle at Cap, rest in power. DJ Cap, I think it was, at a KML event.
Yeah.
Because the record skipped.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was there.
It was melting. It was warped. The record was, they were out in the sun.
That's what it was.
The record was warping.
Yeah, I was there, Doug. I introduced him to the stage, and it wasn't Cap's fault, but I don't think Big knew at that time. So, yeah.
Right.
But,
and you saying real talk, Sway, this is a real hip-hop conversation now.
Yeah, come on.
Because, I used to train Big and Puff, right?
Yep.
But this is one of the lessons that we never got to go through, because if he knew this technique, he probably wouldn't have lost his mind over that. You know, God bless him and his family, but that's what I mean. So there's multiple levels, and, you know, and then you got to practice dancing because, you know, I mean, the Dougie came, that was just Harlem. You know, we dancing at rooftop or up in the park, and you would add different dimensions to it. So then you got to practice that. Then I got to practice crowd participation, because crowd participation, the way that I do it, is completely different than the way some people do it, because I learned from the architect of crowd participation, which is DJ Hollywood. And I learned from Love Bug, and I learned from Busy Bee. You see what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother piece that you got to learn, you know? And, I mean, and I could go on, but it's like, so you see what I'm saying? So I break things down into divisions. Like you know, you rhyming, you got to practice rhyming. Sometimes when a person don't rhyme and they rhyme and they used to rhyme all the time, you get winded. Rhyming on stage is completely different than rhyming, you know, sitting down and just rapping like, you know, you sitting on a chair. No. And then if you go into the studio, you know, when you rhyming in the studio, I remember one day I was in the studio with Big Pun, and he was rhyming. And this is when me and him, you know, when I tried to tell him about his health, and I was trying to help him because, you know, I love Big Pun. And he was in there, and he would go, punch me in right there. Now, punch me in means you stop, and then, you know, for those that may be listening, you stop recording there, and then you pick it up from there and finish the rhyme, and they record you from that point. So he would be so winded when he was rhyming that he would stop and then say, okay, pick it up from there. Okay, now do it again. And it would be every 2 bars or something. So if you don't know how to control your breathing, it's very difficult to rhyme. You know what I mean?
Wow. And let me say this, citizens tuned in right now. What you're getting is the realest hip-hop conversation in existence right now. Yeah. This can't be duplicated. It won't be the same. And there's no one on the planet that can say these things that Dougie Fresh is saying to you today. And I don't even want to get in the way of it. I just want people to understand what you're witnessing as you tune into this right now. Don't take it for granted. Dougie is actually here because Dougie has a new project. He has a new album. Dougie Fresh in 2021 has a new album, and it's called This One's for Chuck Brown. Dougie Fresh salutes the Godfather of Gogo. Rich Nice is on the line.
Hey, Rich.
You know I had to come out for this.
Are you serious?
My brother's here, Dougie Fresh. Come on, baby. What's up, dog?
Look, man. Now the circle is complete. Word up. I was gonna ask you, Sway. I said I was gonna ask you off the line, but hey, Rich B, you know now we back. The band is back together.
The band back together, man.
The band is back, baby.
Hey, we all need to go to get Heather to cook us something and just hit this road
You
again,
know what?
man.
You keep just assigning me to more work, bro.
I'm just saying, he said the band.
Look, hey Heather, I'll cook with you. You know, we can get down together. You know that.
There you go. That's it. We
do.
You could be each
You know
other's
how we
sous
do.
chefs. I feel you.
Right,
See?
right.
I'm just testing the food
great.
out. That's all.
This is great. This is great. Now this is so amazing. This I could say record. This record that you got, Doug, is so amazing. It makes me start thinking about the days in Legends nightclub in D.C. and the Junkyard Bands, the Rare Essence, the Trouble Funks, the Experience Unlimited, the Backyard Band, the Northeast Groovers, and they all got it from Mr. Chuck Brown.
Facts.
Exactly. And that and yo, hey, look, I can't even say it no better, bro, because I'm gonna tell you, bro, I did not even know that I was going to write this. I tell you no lie, I was sleeping. Sway something woke me up and said, yo, write a song about Chuck Brown. And I said, why? Like in my mind. And then, and a lot of times, with me, I just kind of go with the energy because I know the energy never let me down before, and I'm not high. There's nothing going on with me. So when something said do it, I started writing it. And when I started writing it, I started to recap all of the experiences that I had with him. And when I started to do that, everything just started to come together. And then it's so bizarre to me because I was going to do a live album because before Prince transitioned, he was going to produce the live album for me. So when he was going to do the live album, we both loved go-go music. And we both loved Chuck Brown because I was touring with him from 99 until he transitioned. And so he wanted me to do a live album. So when this happened, I said, wow, let me make this that live album. Let me make this that project to where people could get a live experience, because if you've never been to a go-go event, you don't really understand the depth of what you're listening to. Go-go is not just a sound. It's an interactive, spiritual experience. It is like when you come in there, you will not leave the same. When you hear all of the percussions, when you hear the drums, when you hear that energy coming through the speakers, it is a different vibration, And I remember one time at Capitol Center, before I experienced it, Run from Run DMC told me, he said, yo, have you ever seen Chuck Brown? I said, no. We was all three on the show together. He said, man, you ain't seen Chuck? He said, oh, man, wait until you see this. And I was like, it can't be that. Is it really that serious? I went there, and I got there early, and I seen what Chuck did. Bro, I ran in his dressing room after that, and I said, I never seen nothing like that. This is unbelievable. And there was 20,000 people there. And he started laughing, and he said, you just experienced the go-go experience. And from that day till one of his last concerts, which was on the Capitol lawn, me and him always performed together, spontaneously, or whether he called me or asked me to get on the show with him or perform. And our relationship just grew. And I guess maybe that's why it was important for me to do this, because the world needs to know who created this. In my opinion.
Absolutely. And you know what? Let's play that song, Chuck Brown, right now, and come back and take some more calls. This is the go-go version. you did the Go-Go version of the show. But I want to play the song titled Chuck Brown right now. The album is out. This one's for Chuck Brown. Dougie Fresh salutes the Godfather of Go-Go. You have any questions, 888-742-3345. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Salute. Come on. That sounds amazing. So amazing. We got the legendary, iconic Dougie Fresh online with us right now as we celebrate Chuck Brown, the Godfather of Go-Go. The new project is This One's for Chuck Brown. Dougie Fresh salutes the Godfather of Go-Go. Look, man, as soon as we put that on, callers start calling in. James in D.C. James, Grand Rising.
Hey, James.
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all doing, man? I just want to let y'all know, man, I'm riding around listening to y'all in D.C., man.
That's
and I really appreciate y'all, man, really putting on Go-Go, especially because I play in a Go-Go band myself.
Wow.
I've been playing in my Go-Go band since I was like 14 years old. So I'm 30 now. I'm going on 31. And my band is called T.O.B. So we play a lot. We one of the big dogs in the D.C. area. So, you know, this moment for Dougie Fresh to really, you know, give that shine to Chuck Brown, you know, the leader of the Go-Go, you know, community, that's real big. And I really appreciate y'all giving us this, you know, that shine.
Doug?
Yeah, no, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, like this conversation started with me asking how y'all are doing and how your family is doing, because that's sincerely where I come from. It's not make believe. So when this song was made about Chuck, it's equivalent to me of the same way, you know, Sway is talking about his grandmother or, you know, or his grandparents, and Heather's talking about her grandparents. Like Chuck Brown is the godfather. He is somebody that needs to be acknowledged. And when we don't acknowledge the ones who paved the way, I think that we are doomed, because it shows we have no respect. And when you have no respect, you know, the culture and the family gets destroyed, you know, because you don't respect the ones who created something or paved the way. So how do you expect anybody else to respect them? You know, we have this thing we talk about, culture vultures and all this other stuff. The only reason why the vulture is able to eat is because somebody left them something to eat. You know, that's how the vulture eat. But when we acknowledge our own, when we take care of our own, and when we pay respect, the respect that they're due, you know, like you said, y'all went and brought food over to your grandma or grandpa's house. Mm-hmm. That's deep. Mm-hmm. Who does that anymore? Like, that is the way we grew up. That is the way I was taught. Like, there's no other way for me to be. So this record, and I thank the creator for giving me the vision to do it. People were saying, yo, why are you doing that? You could be rhyming, you could do this, you could do that. I said, nah, this one's for Chuck Brown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I called his family up. And let them know.
Hey, James, what's the name of your band again?
We are called the T.O.B. Band and Show.
There it is, brother. I hope to come across your path one day and see y'all get down. I know y'all sweating it out, James, all right? You're a citizen, brother.
Right. Sway in the morning.
All right, my man. Doug, it's a lot of people now that just lit up. I want to try to just let them say hi to you, you know, quick highs and quick responses.
Nice.
Let's go to Maryland. Norman is in Maryland. Okay, Norman in Maryland. Grand Rise Norman.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, Sway. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing, Heather B? Hey, Doug.
Tracy G, too. Got to throw out Tracy G.
Oh, Tracy G. Hey, Doug, I'm from the DMV, man, and I was listening to the show, man, and for you to acknowledge and pay homage to the man that we call the Godfather, man. I grew up with Chuck, man, and when you got them reeling off names, man, the JYB, NEG, Essence, like, man, you just took me back, man. I'm 55 years old, man, and you just brought back some memories to me, man. And I can remember when Junk signed with Def Jam and they hit the Sardines and the whole 9 yards, and then Herbie would come down, take that beat, take it back up to New York, man, and let Kid and Play hit it, and and Salt and Pepper, man, you just, man, thank you for acknowledging Go-Go, man. I just wish we could get out of D.C. with it a little bit more, but, man, I thank you, sir. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I was at the show at the Capitol Center when they had the Go-Go Fest, and you came out on stage. Man, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And the goal is that this is what this project is for. This project is to make sure that the world gets to acknowledge go-go music, the culture, and the Godfather, Chuck Brown. I mean, it's actually in the Grammys. I have the song in the Grammys it's set up for the Grammys. I think it's in 2 or 3 categories. There's a category now in the Grammys called Go-Go. Okay. Did you know that, Sway?
I did not know that, Doug. I did not know that.
And this is the great. Hey, Sway, it's crazy because once the thought came to me to write this song, I never knew that there was a category called Go-Go, or they call it's a category under roots music. So they got Go-Go in there. But how much of a coincidence is that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Doug, so when you get this Grammy, you want me and Rich to come out on stage with you, or how you want to do this? Let me know.
I was actually going to ask you about that, but I was waiting, you know. Hey, look, and I'm telling you, when the Grammy is gotten, we're going to bring it right to D.C., and give it to Chuck family for Chuck, man.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Hey, Norman, you're a citizen, brother.
Sway in the morning.
Angela in New Jersey, you want to say something to Dougie Fresh real quick? Grand Rising.
Hey, Angela.
Hi, everyone. I just want to share my experience, and Doug was so right. I attended the Capitol Jazz Fest, and I think was one of Chuck Brown's last performances. I'm a Jersey girl. We don't listen to Go-Go much. I'm sitting there like, yada, yada. Next thing you know, I catch myself dancing. You walk out. It's a totally different experience. After you hear him, it was like my whole world done changed and upside down. But to see the dynamics of young people as little as toddlers all the way up to 80, they had DMV on a lot. So it just shows that the Godfather is just everything.
Wow. How did Doug do?
He did good. He had me partying.
Okay, that's what's up. Hey, Angela, thanks for sharing your experience. Angela, Dougie Fresh has a new project out. Did I tell you? Did I mention it already?
I was listening to it. It's hot. It's hot.
There you go. This one's for Chuck Brown, citizens. It's called This One's for Chuck Brown. Dougie Fresh salutes the Godfather of Gogo. Go pick it up. Thank you, Angela. You're a citizen.
It's Sway in the morning.
S&E, what you want to say? Grand Risings.
Hey.
First, I want to say Grand Rising and good morning to everybody. I got a question for Doug.
Go for it.
Okay, the question is, Doug, when are you going to put out a documentary movie on your life? And if you are going to put it out, are you going to feature an actor to take the place of the magical Kenny B, the first hip-hop magician?
Wow. Well, first of all, acknowledging Kenny B, the first hip-hop magician, is just hands down mind-blowing that you said that. Wow. And, you know, me and Kenny was friends since we were 7 years old. So I don't know if you knew that, but we were friends since 7 years old, and I took him on the road, and he was a very close friend. And as far as the documentary go, you know, I'm doing step by step. Like actually, this album, this one's for Chuck Brown, and the introduction. I mean, and to let people know about go-go music. I felt like, you know, spiritually something told me it was very important to do that, and I was more concerned with him than I was concerned about telling people my story, because I'm alive to tell my story a little bit, but I don't think he could tell his story the way I could tell it for him. You know, so I thought it was important to do that. And also, as far as, you know, just the documentary stuff, I'm looking into that down the road. But right now, it's a lot more to do. I just let out 3 albums, my first 3 albums that I made. I re-released them, remastered them on October 15th. All of the music I made from the first album, the second, the fourth album, everything is, and with bonus remixes and a bunch of other stuff that people like. All of those things are going to be available now too. So, you know, there's a lot of work that's about to be done in documentary. I'm actually doing a beatbox documentary though, to tell people exactly how I created it, because it's the last element in hip hop. It's the fifth element. So I don't think people understand exactly what happened and how this thing became. You know, you see it being done, but you don't really understand everything that had to happen for it to be there. You know, so yeah, so that's what's going on.
One more question.
No, that's it, Anthony. But we appreciate
what?
you. You're a citizen, brother. Go ahead, man. Get about your day. You'll be all right.
Get to the back of the line. It's a long line.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He asked a good question. Listen, there's a lot of folks. Jack from Omaha, Malik from Connecticut, Heather from Portland, Ruben from New Orleans, Will from North Carolina, Reggie in Chicago. The lines go on and on. I want you all to have a wonderful experience by hitting Dougie Fresh directly on his social media, because he's a person that will respond. And so I know a lot of you have some great questions for Dougie. Hit him directly. Doug, tell him how they can hit you, man.
You can hit me at the real Dougie Fresh on the Instagram, and I will respond. You know, very simple. We living in a time where it's very simple these days, ain't it, Sway?
Ain't it, Doug? It don't take a whole lot. It don't take a whole lot to do, and it don't take a whole lot to tell you I'm not gonna do.
Right. And I gotta shout you out. I gotta acknowledge you, man, because hey, this transition of the technology has been definitely one that, you know, you told me about a long time ago, and then D Nice even got on it and told me when he had his explosion on Instagram, he said, Doug, embrace the technology. And I never forgot those words. And he used to be with me when I'm on tour in the dressing room and doing push-ups, eating vegan sandwiches and making juices and all that. And one day he said, Doug, I'm going to just tell you one thing, man, embrace the technology. And that's what I'm doing, you know. It's very interesting.
All right.
Very interesting to go from vinyl to no vinyl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very interesting. And you're doing an excellent job, man. That's why I started off with I'm proud of you, because I watch how you do. And I honestly, man, I wish more artists from the generations would embrace it and not fight it so much. Just do it your way. Like, I love when I see Grandmaster Cass on social media. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Two things.
Absolutely.
Before you go, I want to say I appreciate how you uphold the life and legacy of Biz Markie. I saw you post the street naming of him, and you gave a lot of kind words to his wife and his family, and you've included Biz Markie on this project for the Go-Go version of the show. I want to ask you, in your opinion, what is his legacy in this culture?
Biz legacy, thanks a lot for that also, and definitely sending a lot of love and energy to his wife and his family. Biz's legacy is he was the heart of hip-hop. He was the heart. And what I mean by that is Biz was loved and appreciated and celebrated everywhere he went. And he was somebody that if you didn't feel like playing, he gonna make you play. If you didn't feel like laughing, he's gonna make you laugh. And he's gonna and then he had a very childish kind of way where, you know, if you see him with a brand new mixer, he'll be like, nah, 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 you know, like, right.
Yeah,
so it was always about laughing. It was always about fun. And I don't know if you know, but Biz basically started with me and the Get Fresh crew in '82. I brought him into Harlem, and I brought him to my house. He used to go to the store with my grandmother.
Biz Markie started with the Get Fresh crew?
Biz Markie started with the Get Fresh crew, brother. That's where he started doing the beatboxes. He was up under me, and he used to practice DJing with Barry and with Will. Obviously, he was with Cool V too, but he came from Long Island in 1982. It was a show with Lovebug Starsky, the Cold Crush Brothers, me, and they had him, Biz, on the flyer. I'm going to send you the flyer so you can see it. I sent it to him when he was in the hospital because his wife, we was trying to get him to get out of, to kind of get himself back up. And I get on the phone and talk to him and say, Biz, look at the flyer. Come on, man. We got work to do, and I would mess with him. But our relationship go back to 82, so that's why I think it was so important to put him on this project. I didn't know this is the way it was going to turn out, but I'm glad that I was able to still acknowledge my brother in a way that I felt that he would have done for me,
Absolutely. Dougie Fresh, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy. This is why you have this, tune into this show, hopefully, because of moments like this.
Yeah,
Before
we go really quick. We got to acknowledge Chucky Thompson, who was the 16-year-old conga player for Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers. That's how I met Mr. Chuck Brown, through Chucky Thompson, who was 16 years old playing congas in the Soul Searchers with Chuck Brown. I gotta say that. I'm sorry.
Absolute. Rest in power.
And hey, Rich, and you know what's crazy about that? What's crazy about that is that Chucky Thompson was going to produce a go-go record with me before he passed.
Wow.
And I was in his studio, and we would be in there talking about Chuck. So it's just very interesting how all of these pieces came. And on Chuck Brown Day in the DMV, I put together a performance where we acknowledged Chucky and we acknowledged Chuck, and we put them side by side. So, wherever they are, I know they jamming. They still jamming. That's what it's all about, man. We got to celebrate life while we're here and appreciate each other,
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Dougie Fresh. Tracy, you good?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I had one last question, Dougie, before you peace out. And thank you
bye,
for
y'all.
gracing
Love
us.
y'all.
Okay.
Sorry, HB.
I tried because Doug's my friend, Biz, my friend, but I got to go to my next job.
Okay,
I love
Urban
y'all.
View. All right. Channel
Urban
126.
I said, I'm already late. They about to kill me, but we was doing that hip-hop history, and, people don't realize that Biz had a history in the DMV area. So thank you, Doug, for bringing that up. Also, breaking news coming from the sports world, you guys. The Brooklyn Nets have announced, and they say that Kyrie Irving will not play or practice until he is eligible under local COVID-19 vaccination mandates. So now even his practice is done with the Brooklyn Nets. This is an updating story. I'll keep you posted as much as I can on social media, but this is breaking news.
All right. Thank you, HB. Have a good show today.
Love you, HB.
Appreciate that. I'm a season ticket holder. Go ahead, Tracy. We want to hold Doug too long. Go for it.
Okay, my bad. Just because we're going through all of the history making moves that Doug's done throughout the years, it also reminds me that, Doug, you were, I feel like, the first hip hop artist to publicly embrace Scientology some years ago. And obviously, and a lot of people know, there's controversy around it, but then there's a lot of people who've spoken highly about it. Are you still a member of the Scientology Church?
Yeah. I still study Scientology, and I still use the technology as far as the basic courses and read a lot of the books and stuff like that because it has been very powerful. A lot of people are talking about mental health these days, and Scientology was dealing with that subject a long time ago because Dianetics was about mental health and getting people to look at themselves and deal with some of their issues and resolve some of their issues. The world is in the condition that it's in because of the mental health of the individuals that's in the world. So studying Scientology has been very useful to me, even on this journey, because it gives you mathematics and science. It's not guesswork. It is calculated, and it's natural laws. And without going into a deep conversation about it, but just giving you an overview, I just think that it's important for us to really look at mental health and really do some work in that area, because even the most sane don't really understand how in some ways they may not be so sane. So it takes a lot of courage to look at yourself and not just judge someone else. And that's what Scientology was for me, because it made me have to take a look inside and deal with fixing some of the things. Like you said, Sway, how do you stay so long? Because if you don't look inside and be honest with yourself about certain things and certain actions that you're doing that may not be the best actions, you'll keep making those mistakes, and eventually, those same mistakes will destroy you. So you got to figure out a way to stop it. And sometimes, whether it's a self-help book, whether it's the church, whatever it is that works for you. For me, Scientology was one of the keys that helped me to take a look inside and fix some of the things that I didn't even know was an issue. So it's fascinating. It's something to look at,
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Dougie Fresh. And we can talk about that, too, later in depth when we sit down in person.
Yes.
And I appreciate you, Dougie Fresh. This was amazing, man. You see, Tracy, none of us have seen each other in person in a long time. That's why Doug was like, the band is back together. And let's see each other, man. I need to hug you, brother.
Yeah.
I need a Doug hug.
Definitely.
Okay?
Come on, brother. You already know, man.
Come on. I need a Doug hug, man.
You are my brother, boy.
Come on, Rich.
I wanted to ask about your daughter, but we'll get into that on a personal.
Okay. Oh, she's awesome. She's doing excellent. She used to call him Doggy Fresh.
That's right. She was in the studio. She walked in the studio and lit up the studio. I remember when they first hooked up with her. Hey, and look, I keep that image in my head because her energy was so strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it didn't change. It compounded. Now she's 23, Doug. But
Crazy.
Back then she was probably like 6 or 7. Now she's 23, brother.
Wow.
I tell her you asked about her. Love you, Doug.
Yep.
Citizens, make sure
Love
y'all
you too,
pick up the
brother.
project. Pick it up. It's out now. Some beautiful music. It's a beautiful representation in tribute to the one and only Chuck Brown. The project is called This One's for Chuck Brown. Dougie Fresh salutes the Godfather of Gogo. Rich Nice, thank you for joining us today. Tracy, the whole team, Wonder, DB, OQ, Kelly, Heather B. It's time for Lord Sear, so we got to rush out. But I want to end the show playing the Go-Go version of the show featuring Biz Markie. Okay?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. It. Doug, have a beautiful day. And on that note, citizens, we have nothing left to say.